Hi, and welcome to my tutorial on how to make Civil War bread pudding, as described in the Hospital Steward's Manual by one Joseph J. Woodward, medical doctor. Now, for starters, as this is hospital food, we're going to need a patient. And I happen to know where one is right now. Let's go get him!
Yeah, get that. Just slide it right in there. We need the one. Yeah. Hey, Paul!
Huh?
Wow!
Before you can start making bread pudding, you'll need ingredients with which to make said bread pudding. You'll need milk. The book says whole milk, but we will be using 2%. 2 eggs. A lemon, which we are substituting for a very sad lime. A stick of cinnamon, which we'll be substituting for ground cinnamon. Breadcrumbs. Currants, which we are substituting with raisins. And white or brown sugar, which will be substituted by yellow sugar. And, if you care to, have yourself a shot of whiskey so you can forget about the horrors of watching men die. To start, the recipe calls for about 1 pint of milk, which is, in metric, about 475 milliliters. Pour that into your saucepan. Next up, you'll want to toss some lime peel in. And normally the recipe would call for a stick of cinnamon, but we aren't cowards. We use ground cinnamon. We'll be using about a teaspoon of it. Once I can set the camera up, you'll see it. Just a little bit, not too much. And dump that in. Now, bring that to a rolling boil. And we can start on the next portion. Once you've brought your milk, cinnamon, and lime to a rolling boil, the next step is pour it into your breadcrumbs. Of course, you should strain out the limes. Once that's all brought to a rolling boil, the lemons are strained. You pour that into your breadcrumbs. Add one. Eventually, if you're lucky, second egg. Gross. And then you will attempt to get 2 tablespoons of brown sugar into the bowl. With all of those ingredients in, you whisk until you get a nice batter-like consistency. I'm not gonna lie, it smells pretty good.
Almost enough to make you forget the smell of gunpowder and death.
As an added treat, once you have the batter done, you get to add the currants, or in our case, the raisins. Normally, raisins don't stick this bad. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Sorry, Sunmaid. You didn't deserve this. About 14 grams of raisins. We added almost double that, so this should be a nice raisin-filled dish. With that done, it's time to prepare the pudding cooking apparatus. This one took a little bit of doing. What you'll normally want is some form of pudding mold. I do not have a pudding mold. I have glass Tupperware. This will do just fine. Remove that. Grab a little butter to butter the sides. Or a lot of butter. Or if you have it, baking spray works too. Baking spray hasn't been invented yet. I might be tried for witchcraft. Just grease that up. My hands are clean, it's fine. This is bread pudding for one. And our patient doesn't need to know we did this. He's not on a need to know basis. He's dying. Shot him real good. This is gonna be alright. You'll be fine. You'll have a good day ready to go by tomorrow. By go, I mean get buried. That's alright though. With your pan nice and greased, you can go ahead and pour in your batter. Take care not to make too much of a mess. Try and feed someone. Looks like food. Not really though. That's alright though. It's better than what most people are eating out there, which is nothing. Cover that up and toss it in the pudding apparatus, which is actually just a pot with some form of riser. What you'll want to do now is boil some water, likely in a kettle, but whatever you have on hand works, or you could just boil water in the pot. And then you'll steam it for about 1 hour until it is ready to serve. Pour in the water so it's about an inch or two deep. And apparently you can turn that on to medium heat. When all's said and done and the bread pudding has been on the stove for about an hour, pull that right off the heat. Just slide it right off the heat, just like that. Open it up. Is there bread pudding in there? Looks kind of nasty, but that might be food. And that's how you make bread pudding. Once you've completed your bread pudding and, as you can see, had a little bit for yourself, you can feed it directly to your patient.
Wow, thank you, Jason Jones, medical doctor.